Increased air travel security measures in the United States coming into force. The wider use of body scanners is very likely now. Their implementation is controversial, though, because of their intrusive nature. Some experts also say that they're less effective than simple physical pat-downs. RT's Priya Street is in our Washington, D.C. studio. She's got a guest to talk about that tonight. Hi there, Priya. How are these body scanners going down with the American public?
Hi, Kevin. Well, there's been mixed reaction here in the United States. Many people are outraged at what happened on Christmas Day, wondering how this could have happened after 9/11 and demanding that something be done about it. But others are saying that this is an invasion of privacy. So what's the right solution then? Well, joining me to help talk about this is Jim Ridgway, senior correspondent for the progressive Mother Jones magazine and author of the book, The 5 Unanswered Questions About 9/11. Jim, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
So first of all, I want to ask you, it seems like these full body scanners have become all the rage in the past couple weeks, but I mean, do they really work?
Well, the people that I talk to, I've been following this since 9/11, and the people that I talk to who are actually involved in this say they don't work, because you can take an explosive and put it in a body cavity, and it can't detect it. So as one of them said to me, well, you could put the entire works for a bomb, inside your body, and no one would know. The chemicals, the firing pins, or whatever.
And many people are saying that this is the golden solution, but I mean, who's really benefiting from all this full body scanner talk?
Yeah, well, the people who benefit from it are, number one, the politicians who go on and on and on about it, and number two, there's a group of lobbyists and former administration officials headed up by Mr. Chertoff, who was the head of Homeland Security. And he now represents the one company that has the contracts to build and provide these extraordinarily expensive, body scanners, which don't work.
And it seems like every time something bad happens, first there was the TSA comes up with a new rule to try to keep passengers safe. First there was the shoe bomber, and we were all taking our shoes off before we were boarding on airplanes. Now it's the underwear bomber, and we have the full body scanners. I mean, what's next?
Well, look, the people that I talk to are people who are part of something called the Red Team. And the Red Team is made up of special ops, people like Navy SEALs and so on. And they're hired to try to penetrate the security to see so they can fix it. And they have been penetrating the security with bombs, grenades, explosives, machine guns from 9/11 on. And no one has ever set up a barrier that they couldn't break easily. I mean, they break it hundreds of times in one or another airport all over the country and abroad. So the idea that anything has changed here is really hard to get at. So the politicians and the TSA are constantly got to tell you that you're safe, and they then invent all these different things. But from what I understand, it's just nothing much has changed.
So, I mean, do you think this whole debate is pretty much useless then, and that the terrorists will always find a way to outsmart the system?
No, I think there's some really, really simple things from what these people have told me that, you can do. And don't cost very much money. But everyone's, totally enamored with high tech. And so, this thing that happened at Newark Airport, now it's a perfect example. The guy that set the whole thing going nuts was a guy who walked through the exit exit barrier. Well, if you can do that, I mean, you could have done that any time since 9/11. And I'm like, what are these guys doing? They lock down the entire place because this guy does something that everybody knows you can do? It doesn't make much sense.
I mean, how extreme do you think these measures could eventually get? Do you think at some point in the future we might have our blood drawn before we get onto an airplane or something like that?
Well, the thing that they're all, gaga about is something called, it's a chair that looks like an electric chair. It's called the Boss. And they're using it in prisons. And they're using it in prisons because prisoners, especially in the UK, are swallowing cell phones or SIM cards, and it's become a big thing. So you sit in the Boss chair, and it will beep if you have swallowed a cell phone, and it's in your innards, and then they take you to solitary confinement, and you sit there until you whatever till you shit it out. Excuse me. And so that's the way it works. So what are they going to do? Are they going to do that?
Well, the security debate continues to rage on here in the United States, and I think many people are wondering, what is the TSA going to do next? But for now, Kevin, I'm going to have to throw it back to you.
Yeah, we all want to be safe in the skies. How to achieve that as best as possible is a difficult thing, isn't it? Priya Sridhar and guest James Ridgway, investigative journalists from the motherjones.com website. Thank you for your thoughts tonight.